Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final Random Encounters of 2023. Yes, this is not the last one. We're going to keep going. We're going to dive right into 2024. But right now, this is our New Year's special. Still a few days before actual New Year's Eve, but we're all going to be busy then. So let's do some New Year's themed drawing today. That's my plan anyway. Hopefully, that's what you're here for. I'm Stan, the guy with the exclamation point, and if you don't know what you're here for, I don't know how you got on this channel, but welcome. Hello, Dave Lemon. Hello, Penny Firehorse. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I suppose, Dave, I'll say welcome to the other lemons who I guess are there on the couch with you. Linnea and Gus. Hi. Uh, so yeah, we're here. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna have another special. Close out the year with a holiday special and a New Year's special. I've got shorter than usual random encounter tables drawn up with New Year's themes. Look, I turned on the camera and I realized I should have had a haircut before the year ended. Um. Anyway, and those of you who may be joining for the first time, what's going on here is we are going to do some improv cartooning. That is, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be drawing until it is randomly decided for me. In this case, by a couple of random encounter tables, like the kind you use in tabletop role playing games such as Dungeons and Dragons. And, oh dear, what just happened there? You can't see what just happened, but it confused me. Yes, so we use the random encounter tables and an electronic die roller to choose a subject, a who, and a what, something that's going on, and then I draw that. Now, very often, all the questions aren't answered by those rolls, so I will turn to the live audience here. In this case, we've got a few folks, including the Lemons, David, Linnea, and Penny. Firehorse. Penny is not one of the Lemons. I did that poorly. Uh, I'm still working on this. Hopefully, get better week to week, but we'll try and show some improvement in the new year. Yes, so that's how it goes. We usually do 3 drawings unless one takes exceedingly long. I thought at some point I might take a week of the show to do just a single drawing and do it out, but it really doesn't seem like it fits this. The fun in here is kind of jumping into new ideas every 15 or 20 minutes and trying something new. Anyway, speaking of fun, I hope that you will at least consider grabbing a piece of paper and a pen or your favorite drawing implements of any sort. I will be using an iPad Pro and the Procreate app. This event is not sponsored by either, though I'll say it again, I'm totally open to the option. Yes, and either draw what I'm drawing or something else that inspires you. The whole idea of this, or the reason that I do this, is to kind of promote the idea that drawing is fun. It's a thing that you just do for the fun of it. And I can't think of a better way to embrace that than by drawing along with me. Anyway, that seems like a whole lot of blather. I think it's time to get down to doing some drawing. So I'm going to come over here to my pad and set things up so it looks all nice for you when I click this button here on my console. And we come over, and these are our New Year's special random encounter tables. So now I'm going to come over and I'm gonna, wow, this is just, every once in a while there's a little tech problem. And we're going to come over to the die roller. As you just saw, it will roll the die. I'll go once, twice, and then the third time is the number we'll use. This being only 4 numbers on each table, we're using a four-sided die, which is this little pyramid-looking thing, which rolls like that. And then, as you can see, if you're not used to that, if you're not a gamer, you might be confused as how the heck you would read that since there's nothing on the top. But if you look at that, you'll see at the top point, the numbers are all the same. Let's see if I can get this to so you can see that far side. Not really. So there we go. So yes, threes all the way around the top. So the number at the top is a number that is rolled. Got it? Good. Let's go. Here we go. So once, twice, and third time is a two. Our first who is a two. And our first what, once, twice, third, oh, once, twice, third time. It's also, this happened last week. Kept rolling doubles on these fours. Now, granted, there's fewer numbers to choose, so the likelihood of rolling the same number twice is greater. But it's happened every time. I find that suspicious. So let's see what we got. We've got a Barbarian is a number two on a who, and a Champagne Toast is number two on the what. So that's going to be our first drawing. So come over here and go to sketches. We're good on that. We've got blue. I like to do my sketching in blue, so that's what we're going to do. We're using the right thing, so let's turn off the tables and get right into sketching. Barbarian Champagne Toast. Champagne Toast at midnight. So thinking, I'm going to zoom in a little here as I do my sketching. So I'm going to have a Conan and we'll have think so. The first gag that's coming into my head here is these big beefy barbarians with tiny little delicate champagne flutes, and them just not being very satisfied. Um, I think our other barbarian is going to be Red Sonja. For those of you who don't know Red Sonja, it's another Howard creation, like Conan, another character. She Devil with a Sword. There's a really bad 1980s film made of Red Sonja. Oh god. There. So so let's see, a basic gag. Barbarians basking each other with champagne bottles. That's pretty funny. That's in fact I'm I'm staring at it because I like this little dainty glass thing, but it's not. It's funny to me, but I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that's not really going to read funny to a bunch of people. I'm going to turn off that sketch layer and create a whole new layer and come in here and go for that idea that Linnea had. So we're going to have them bashing each other over the head with champagne bottles. Maybe we could combine the two. That's, putting a lot of characters into one drawing. I wonder if I could fit those two into one drawing. Now that looks like a mess, but here I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Tell you what I'm going to do. They are now on 2 layers, so if I go to the bottom layer and I grab it and I move it up here, I can put them in the background. And then if I go to that layer that I did before and I grab that and I make it bigger, I can make them be in the foreground. And then we've got them all. There we go. Now we got a very busy, but I think best of both worlds kind of um, I don't know what best of both worlds really covers it. I think we get both gags in there, and two gags are better than one. All right, I'll start with this one. So I'm going to turn off the sketch for the first sketch layer, and I'm going to go up here. We're going to start inking this quickly because now we got a lot going on. All right. So, maybe not as clear to you what's happening there, but I can see it. All right. So we start with a line we're confident in. Weirdly enough, it's this arm that I'm feeling most confident in. And here we go. So, how are you folks doing? How was your first half of the holiday break? Last time we got together, it was pre-Christmas, and we had our holiday special. We had a lot of Christmassy and Hanukkah themed stuff going on here. Was Santa good to you all? I I come from a mixed religious background, so in my family we would celebrate both Hanukkah and Christmas in maybe not equal measure, but to some measure, and so I still celebrate. Well, I guess it's more like I celebrate neither, but I celebrate them equally. My big uh, Christmas celebration is to get together with some friends here that I've been doing Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners with for the past 20 years or so. Uh, and we have a nice dinner. We have a everyone brings a little something to the gathering, and we get together and we have a good time, and it was terrific. All right, this barbarian's going to be bald, I think. He's going to be smashing over the head of another barbarian. This barbarian's going to have a beard. Why? Just because I want there to be something so they don't all look like Conan. Who will be showing up in the background area. Go. This guy here took it. I was going to say he took it on the chin, but he didn't. He took it on the noggin. And yeah. So yeah, we all got together. We had a nice turkey, and it was very reminiscent of our Thanksgiving, which is to say, similar dishes and just as delicious. All right, so this guy swinging and smashing a champagne bottle over the other guy's head. That's funny on its own. Good thinking, Linnea. But we're going to add to that by now turning on the sketch of the other two in the background. And we will draw Conan and Red Sonja having a toast. And now they can just enjoy their regular toast with their dainty little champagne flutes. Put a little loincloth on Conan. Big meaty fingers. And the very delicate champagne flute. I'm going to have to erase some of that as Sonja's hand is going to go over there, but we'll start. We'll start like that. My Conan and Red Sonja, of course, are very highly influenced by the Marvel comics from the 70s and 80s. Conan, most notably drawn by John Buscema, and Red Sonja, most notably drawn by Frank Thorne. They've both had revivals in comics recently, and have had re-envisioning of what they look like to be maybe a little less sexist, shall we say? But they're barbarians. They don't know any better. Alright, so I'm going to come there. And now is when I think I'm going to have to erase a bunch of this here, so that I can get Sonja's hands in there. And come back and fill it in again afterwards. There we go. That's looking pretty good, I think. Go. Sorry, I suddenly find I'm not speaking. How about that? So fascinated am I by my own drawings that I forgot to talk to you about what's going on. Alright, so let's turn the sketch layers off entirely and see how that's looking. I don't even think there's a lot I need to add on here. Maybe a little bit more in the hair, just to get that feeling. And yeah, well, I guess that. I don't know if that matters to anyone but me, but adding that little line there in the lower part helped that visually come together. Okay, so let's go to the colors layer. Switch brushes to the gloaming brush that I like, which gives that crayon-y kind of markery feeling to it. And let's start adding in some color. Conan's always described as being very ruddy, so I'm going to make his go a little darker on his Sumerian skin. Let's finish off them, then move on. I'm going to use a dark blue faux black for Conan's hair. And of course a very, very red hair for Red Sonja. To be darker. I want there to be a noticeable difference between the color of the loincloth and the color of the fringe. I'm gonna do some light blue shading for the chainmail in the chainmail bikini. Maybe a little lighter on the top so we get the idea that it's reflective. And a little champagne-y color in the glasses, which I'm immediately going to come here and use to do the splattering champagne from the exploding bottle. There we go. I think we will give Sonja a golden bracelet there. That armband is going to be gold also. And we will maybe just swap the skin tones left and right. So we had a pale Barbarian on the right in the back. We'll have the Barbarian on the left in the front. Have the paler skin, and the one on the right in the front have some darker skin. Now again, you'll notice I'm using that color, that shaped coloring, to go along with that crayon-y feeling, rather than fill everything in. Think about broadly the shapes that make up the drawings, and color to fit those, and that allows this incomplete coloring style to feel more complete and to add a little bit of feeling of extra feeling of depth and shape. What color shall this guy's hair be? Maybe that color? There we go. Give him a beard and his hair. This guy, I'm going to come in with kind of a tanned green. Speaking of green, to find a green for the champagne bottles. That's the right color for a champagne bottle. And of course the broken glass of this champagne bottle. There we go. Slightly paler yellow for the label and the cork. Look at that, coming all together nice. I think we'll even grab a little bit of pink, just pink, to show where our glasses are clinking. I'm going to go back for that champagne bottle green, and I'm just going to put a little along this line to give the feeling that it's been swung through there. There we go. Now we're almost done. That's looking pretty good. Hello, Dawn. I look up, I see that the crafty visage Dawn has shown up. We're gonna just take a little bit of slightly darker color and give it a little bit of shadow here for the pale skinned ones. And then do the same thing to the more swarthy skinned ones. Just a little, just enough to give that hint. Again, the main thing it does is give a hint of shape and depth. And it's amazing to me how just a little bit of that hint really leads the viewer's eye to interpret a lot more depth and detail than is actually put in there. Again, it's a fun little trick you can use for your coloring at home. Just add a few little details like that, and people are going to be very impressed by how much detail you manage to work into just a little crayony coloring. And if you're using a crayon, you don't have as wide a choice of color as I do here. You can just go over it and press a little harder so that it will seem darker, and that'll work too. All right, I just need to grab that, put that on there, and I think we've got ourselves a nice drawing of barbarians having a champagne toast. So I'll go back to my lines layer, and I will put my stand on that. And there we go. Barbarians having a champagne toast. Good start. This is a good way to, if that's the way the New Year's party starts, I don't know if I want to be there at the end. So there we go. Do you guys have any plans for your New Year's? New Year's ring-a-ding-dinging in? I'll be getting together with some friends. We have a tradition where we get together in the afternoon and have a gaming day, and we just game all day, and suddenly it's midnight. I mean, in that way, it's kind of like any Sunday, except this time we stop and have a champagne toast, and we don't say it at 10 o'clock. I've had enough. I'm going to bed. Anyway, here we go. We've got the barbarians having a champagne toast. Just chilling at home, says Penny. That sounds like fun. It's that's what I'm usually up to. If it wasn't for the games, I probably wouldn't go out anyway. The Brown family has a long history of ringing in the new year at about 10:15. Okay, I think I just want to come back here one more time. You know me. I look and I notice something, and I can't just let it go. I want to add a little bit of highlight there on her hair. Oops, I'm using the inking, not the... It worked out okay for her hair, but it wasn't about to work out. I used the wrong brush. And then I want to do it for his tunic also. And say that's it adds just a little bit, but it also then you feel it if it's not there. Suddenly, I was looking at this going, why does his tunic look so flat? It's because I didn't give it any extra shading, which made it stand out. There we go. Look, oh, so nice, so nice. Mwah. Oh. All right, very good. Let's come back now. Turn off round 1, turn on round 2, and turn on our sketches again. All right, we're ready? We're going to do another drawing? Let's do another drawing. So we'll go back to the die rolls, and we're going to roll again. If we roll 2s again, we're going to have to come to you guys for help, because we don't want to repeat the Barbarians or the Champagne Toast. So we go once, twice, third time, and we've got a 3. Okay. A 3, and a once, twice, third time, a 4. Okay, it's the first time in 2 weeks that we don't have matching numbers. I'm okay with that. So that is a Grell. A Grell on New Year's Day. Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, a Grell is a really weird D&D creature. I picked it because I hadn't drawn one yet. That Mike Grell. That would be an interesting interpretation. Also, the Grell is like a giant brain with a big beak, like a parroty beak, and tentacles coming out the bottom, and little claws on the end of the tentacles. They're it's just a bit of Dungeons and Dragons weirdness. You'll see when I draw one that they certainly have a look about them. But New Year's Day, now I put that down there, knowing that this is open to a lot of interpretation. What does that mean? So one thing I thought it could be is that we've got them just hung over. Another thing could be, I don't know, having a nice brunch, or just kind of, they could literally be hungover. They could just be sitting on a couch with the remnants of last night's party all around them, or we could go back to watching some football on TV, and having lots of dip and other foods. I don't know. What other things does one do on New Year's Day? There's a Rose Bowl parade, of course. Watching a parade, says Dave. We could have the Grell in the Rose Bowl parade, cleaning up after the party, says Dave. That's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, lots of choices. I think it would be pretty weird to see a Rose Bowl float with Grell all over it. What else does one do on New Year's? I don't know. I'm thinking. Cleaning up after the party. Cleaning up after the party. It sounds is hitting my brain most right now. Just because the parade, watching the parade is really hard to get in a single image, and have it really convey that theme. Being in the parade might be more, but I'm not seeing the big funny other than just how ridiculous it is. Grell fighting the warlord, which is a really good D&D comics joke. Yeah. let's go with just kind of cleaning up and hanging out the next morning after the party, and see if anything else pops up. Like last time, I'm certainly open to modifying this in the middle if we think of something a little different that works better. All right, so we're going to zoom in here again. And just so you can, for those of you who don't know, what I was describing for, we've got a kind of like a giant brain with a beak, and then its legs are all these tentacles that end in these weird hooked barbs. So that's kind of what a Grell looks like. Weird, weird stuff. So let's see. We're gonna need another couch. You can see here. I was mentioning last time that one of the things that people ask about with how I can draw things quickly, or why it seems so easy as compared to how difficult it is for them, and a lot of that, as I was explaining last week, is I've done these. I've been drawing for a very long time, and so I've drawn a couch or just a generic couch so many times that I can just quickly whip that out of memory and not need to worry about the details and have something that will hold the place. Whereas if you're doing it for the first time, you have to think a lot harder, and that's part of the magic of this. What makes this what I do here on the show maybe seem a little I don't know, overstating it to say magical, but that's why I can do quick drawing. Is I've done so much drawing over the years of many things, and if I haven't, and I put something on, this is a little secret between you and me. If I put something on the encounter tables that I haven't drawn a little bit, I practice. I practice the basics during the week, so I have it enough in my memory that I can quickly pull out a quick sketch version. Okay, so we got the Grell on the couch, and we'll give him an ice bag for his head because he's got a hangover. And we're going to have right, Happy New Year, but that's just too many letters. Let's put 2024 there. And some balloons. Maybe another Grell down here. Maybe this is the one that's got an ice bag on its head. And we'll give something else for the other one to do. Yeah, and then I guess the other part about doing these drawings like this, doing this show, is coming up with quick plays on the ideas. And that's just something that you'll get from having spent time. I think you find a lot of people that have spent any time in a creative bullpen, where you do a lot of brainstorming and you just kind of throw ideas out. And the ideas have to come fast. You don't worry about how good they are. You just kind of throw the ideas out there, and one or another of them starts to stick, and if they don't, you keep throwing more ideas out there. Another one back here who's actually doing some cleaning and is angry with the others. Now, Grell's not having eyes. That getting me angry might be a little difficult. Empty pizza boxes. Oh, yeah. Gonna have some bottles lying around. There we go. Oh, take that one out. That's starting to get too wide. Okay, because now I'm going to pull out and grab that and zoom it out a bit so that it'll fill up that space a little better. There we go. This guy maybe can still have a New Year's hat on. There we go. That looks good. That's a good start. Let's go with that, huh? All right. So come to the lines layer, and I'm gonna start with that New Year's party hat. Why? Well, let's say Grells are like giant brains. There's not a lot of uh, it's not a lot of physiognomy, phys- physiology. There's not a I don't have to worry about getting the body shape right. So it's going to be hard for me to tell at first blush whether what I put down is right or wrong. But the party hat has to be a certain way. So I feel more confident in that. Oh boy, says the Grell. Oh boy. Hmm. I want to. Somehow I'm trying to make this Grell, this thing with no face, look bedraggled. And then we're going to come here, put the other part of the couch in. Now I'm going to come to the pizza box. Too small. There's a thing I've talked about before. It's one of the advantages of working digitally is you can zoom in as much as you want to at any point. The problem, one of the disadvantages, is you will zoom in and start putting in details because you can't. Look, that's so clear. But when I zoom out, there's a tiny little detail. Do it really need that? Well, maybe. Can't hurt. When it was down here, that was too much. That was way too small. Never was going to read. I'm going to leave that balloon out and just have the tentacle drape that far out. That's part of that bedraggled look. And then this guy over here. Maybe he'll have his tongue hanging out. He's so... that doesn't look like a tongue anymore. And here again, this is where cliches help. Ice pack, it's polka dot. Why? Because it's just how they are. It's the cliche. It helps. It helps to communicate. Now, there are times, when you're writing or otherwise, cliches are no good because they're so common that they have a very generic meaning when you want to have a specific, you want to be telling a specific story. But things like cartoons, quick cartoons like this, where you're just trying to get across an idea and you don't have a lot of time and you don't have a lot of space and you know your reader isn't going to be paying super close attention, well, then cliches are a huge help. Right? I mean, just by sticking that little triangular thing in the box, I really didn't need to write pizza on that box. You would have known that's a pizza box. There we go. Looking good. Okay, and that's hanging on that door frame. And in the back here, we've got the one responsible Grell who's cleaning up after the party. There's still dip and beer cans and bottles. And we're going to come back here. Try and give this Grell a disgruntled look. So here we go. Ha ha ha. Oh, Penny says she has to go. Thank you for stopping by. And have a happy new year, Penny. We'll see you in 2024. Maybe here's where we can put a couple of balloons hanging on the wall. Maybe another streamer. Just to show that there was some party activity over here. All right, and then we've got some Grells on New Year's Day. Let's put a little quick coloring into that, and we can wrap that up. So turn off the sketch layer, take a quick look and see if there's anything that particularly needs to get cleaned up. I'm going to add a few lines here. Clean up that stray line. Okay, let's see. We will grab our coloring brush, and then I'm going to start with the Grell, the main part of the Grell, which, oops, I'm on the wrong layer. I can tell. Colors layer is kind of, let's say it's like a big brain. So I'm going to give it a pinkish gray as the basic color. I'm immediately going to come in here with a darker purplish pink for a highlighting color. There we go. Then we've got an orangish, yellowish orangish beak. And a parrot. I think it's any kind of tropical bird. Since we're doing it already, I'll start by adding in my undercolor. And make the tongue purple. And then I'm going to go for a dark green for the tentacles. In looking up Grells during the week, because again, as I say, when I'm doing something I haven't done before, I'll at least have a look so I have it in the back of my head. There's been a lot of different colors given to the tentacles, but the head itself is always kind of that grayish pink, just so it has that real brain look. And then we're going to go blue with red dots for our ice pack. Maybe a red and yellow stripes on our party hat. Pizza. Pizza. Pizza, pizza. Beer bottle. What color are we going to do for the couch? And do that same kind of cream, off cream. That we did last week. And our tattered sign. Must have been a good party. I'm just picking colors at random here. Not really thinking a lot about it, just feeling what feels right. And yeah, I think that is that's the aftermath of a New Year's party right there. So we'll come back and put a little stand on it. And we have ourselves Grells on New Year's Day. Enjoying New Year's Day. All right, let's do one more. We've been doing 3 every show, 3 to wrap up 2023. Let's make it so, shall we? As Jean-Luc Picard is wont to say. So we're gonna turn off round 2, turn on round 3, and turn back on our random encounters tables. One more time, here we go. Back to the dice and roll it once, twice, third time, and we get a 4. For the who, what's that leave us there? 4 is a werewolf, okay. And then for the what, once, twice, third time, a 1. Look at that. Wow, the dice are magic. Even with a lowered possibilities, We have the polar bear plunge. Werewolves doing the polar bear plunge. That's a New Year's Day. Okay, well, let's turn that off. Come in here on round 3. And we're going to need a I'm trying to decide what I need for a setting. I need a lakeshore or some kind of edge of that. Uh, hmm. And we can have one mid leap. And well, okay, so maybe the mid leap guy. Mid leap guy may not be so prominent, so I'm going to move him for the second. Move him back. Maybe leap there. And we have one guy who's hit the water, and it's so cold. And then we can have another guy over here who's actually frozen. There we go. Now let's go back to that first guy and resize him appropriately. And he can be in mid leap there. This guy's come in and has landed. And is bugging out. Maybe we can have a penguin standing on the shore looking at them like they're weirdos. All right. That's feeling good. Very sketchy, but I can feel it in my bones. It's enough there to go with. So we're gonna go with it. start with this guy up here. He's howling like a wolf would do. Oh. I'm going to give them kind of old-fashioned onesie bathing suits. Go. Make sure they're clearly very hairy. Look at him taking a big leap. Now this guy over here has just hit the water. And he's discovering why this maybe wasn't such a good idea. And the only thing I've got to figure out here is where the waves go. So I know where his arms will show. Again, if I was doing this as a more finished piece, I would have sketched that out and made very certain of those facts before I started inking. But you don't need to worry about that when you're just drawing for fun. You can make mistakes, erase them or not, just leave them be. This guy, though, he's the least happy of the bunch. He's in the middle of discovering his mistake. The other guy we're going to draw may be in worse shape. But he's not feeling it anymore. Because he is frozen. icicles hanging off him. I think we're probably even going to color him like he's made of ice. Maybe. I'm not sure. And then, let's see, get the spit of land in the background. Oh. Background there. And then up front, penguin. Sympathetic penguin. No, wait, don't. Too late. Too late. So the little drawing above the penguin was supposed to be a penguin in the background, but I think, now that I'm looking at it, I like it as the penguin's snow cap. It's come off his head out of surprise. All right, so turn off the sketch layer. Oh, I did all that drawing on the sketch layer. Here we go. I keep, every week I tell you to be careful about this, and once every month or so, I'm not. This you get to learn from my mistakes. I drew on the same layer as the sketches, which means that I can't turn the sketches off. I have to move that above the colors layer now. The best I can do is go in here and erase a bunch of it, but I can't get all of it. Oops. Yeah. Oh well. This is how you learn, by making mistakes. Or, by watching me make mistakes. You know what? If the one thing that happens is that I make this mistake and it keeps you from making it, then this show will be a benefit. A net plus benefit. All right. I'm not going to try and get all of it out. I'm just going to try to get some of it. So that we can add some colors underneath it. And it won't look too weird. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So let's start with our jumping guide. So you can see that the blue layer is still visible, whereas usually it's not when I do this correctly. That's what happens when I do my inks on the sketch layer. Yeah, worse things happen at sea, as they say. Not the least of which is werewolves jumping into the sea. That's worse. Worse for them. And let's see. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do about this guy here. I think we'll just give him some blue shading to show that he's turned to ice. And don't forget the penguin. Don't forget the penguin. Normally, I might use a blue to highlight the snow so it looks pure, but got a lot of blue going on here already, so I'm going to choose a gray instead. There we go. I think given this, I was originally going to go for a little more detail in that coloring, but given the whole problem of having drawn on the blue lines layer, I'm going to call it good at that because I think that still works, and the amount that I would get back from going much deeper into it is less. All right, but I am going to come in here and just add a little bit of extra color, a little shadow around the water. Because there especially we want that sense that it's deep. All right, I like it. Come back to our sketch layer because we have no lines layer. And come back and put a stand on it because even in our mistakes, we want to take credit for it. There's still a lot of good that can come out of this. So there we go. Our third drawing, a bunch of werewolves taking the polar bear plunge. Um, that's cold. All right, so we have had three drawings. Sorry, let me get a little drink here. We've had three drawings here for I was going to say Halloween, for our New Year's special. We have werewolves taking the polar bear plunge. We have Grells on New Year's Day, and we have barbarians with a champagne toast. Davis is shivering just looking at it. It does look cold in that polar bear plunge. Uh, so yeah, so that's how that wraps up. We're heading to the end of the year. It will be 2024 by the time I come back for next week's episode. In the meanwhile, I want to remind those of you who may see this later that I have a 2024 calendar that's for sale. It's a coloring calendar. Each month has a coloring page attached to it. And in the dates for the month, I have put the birthdays of various artists, cartoonists, and musicians, and actors, and writers who have been influential for me, uh, spread throughout the year. So there's a whole bunch of them. I highly recommend checking out some of those people if you don't know who they are, and appreciating them, if you do, taking a moment to remember them on their birthdays. And of course, you can color the pictures that I've drawn. That is for sale at Drive Through RPG. There are links in my social media, and I will try to remember to put a link in the description for this video. Right now, it's not there because I didn't plan ahead, but I will try to remember to get in there and put it in so you can go and get yourself a coloring calendar if you want, and tell your friends if you think they might enjoy it. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna switch up here and tell you that if you are looking for me on the internet, one of the best places to look is on Instagram, where all of the drawings that I do and post publicly will definitely be there. If you want to make sure you see them, you can check out the Instagram. It will be there, and there is definitely a link to that coloring calendar there already. If you want to do more to be involved in what's going on in my cartooning world, you may want to consider joining my Patreon, where, at depending on different levels of patronage, you will certainly get my hearty thanks and some digital rewards. And at the higher levels, you also will sometimes get sent physical rewards like stickers. Like, for example, this sticker, 2024 is the Year of the Dragon. I've done a Year of the Dragon sticker, and my two highest level Patreon, the two highest levels of my Patreon community, I sent them holiday cards and stickers in the mail. It'll show up, and they'll have it for keeps. So, can't say they got nothing. And they got me. So thank you, everyone, for showing up. I appreciate you being here all year. This was the 37th episode, of Random Encounters, and which means we're cruising right in to 1 year, sometime in the first half of 2024. So stick around. I think that it's been fun all along the way. I think we keep getting better, and I bet by the time a year rolls around, we'll be even better than that. So whatever you're doing on New Year's, I hope you enjoy it. I hope the rest of this year ends well for you, and that the year ahead is full of all sorts of success and joy, and a lot of fun drawing. Join me in 2024, and let's do some drawing together. Until then, Happy New Year, everyone. Bye.